everyone. I'm Susan. Welcome to Tea and Games. Today I'm doing the Handheld Game Challenge, which was originated by Dwayne over at Blackboard Gaming. The idea of this is holding 5 games, ideally 5 games, in one hand. And what about those games, huh? So, I'm going to give it a shot here. He tagged Michelle over at second star to the left, and the first thing I thought when I heard the Handheld Game Challenge was what Michelle would do with it. But Billy prevented her from stacking her entire hand with button-shy games, so I'm not going to do it either, seeing as how there's now been an official ruling that that is just not right. So, here we go. Now, this is not actually my original selection. My original selection didn't work, like, not at all. As soon as I started looking at my shelves, I started grabbing all my favorite small box games because this was going to be a cinch, right? I have really small hands. Really teeny, tiny little hands. So, I picked up all those small box games, and the best I could do was 3. And also, when I got to looking at them, I thought, well, these are all 2-player games, although one did have a variation for more players. And I thought about something Dwayne said about, imagine showing up at game night with a selection of games, just like walking in with them in one hand. And so I thought, I mean, it wasn't an official rule of the challenge. I mean, you could just stack them up with solo games if you wanted to, but I thought, let's do this proper. Let's see what I can find that can be played with, say, 4 players. And this is what I came up with. I relied heavily on card games, I have to say, and that is not cheating. Okay. Oh, well, yikes. I'm probably going to knock over my mug of tea, and won't that make an exciting video? Okay, here it is. All in one hand. One of these is a print and play roll and write. That's the big sheet you see here. Needs 3 dice. 1, 2, 3. Presto! Yes! I got them all in one hand. 5 games. 5 games in my little bitty teeny tiny hands. But let's talk about the games now. First of all, that print and play roll and write game I mentioned. I laminated the sheets that we use. I've only got 4 of the maps done yet, but there's actually 5 of them. And it takes 3 dice, and I'm just not including the pencil in this challenge because there are a lot of games that come with score pads and stuff that need pencils that don't always include pencils. So, I mean, you can find your own pencil. So, anyhow, Voyages, I got it on Kickstarter. You can now get it at postmarkgames.com. And it is a roll and write. You roll the dice and you are making voyages across the maps. And the first map is pretty easy. It basically gets you for the feel of the game, particularly for someone who is not familiar with this style of game. You start off with that one, and it is smooth sailing, except of course for maybe when it's not smooth sailing. But But each map is different. It has a different set of variables and parameters. Some of the maps have treasures. Some of the maps have sea monsters. Some have icebergs. There's just different stuff going on each map and different things to score. And the later maps are harder. I'm thinking that they're getting progressively harder, but maybe that's just me. But this is a lot of fun. It really is. And I mean, if you're just looking for a roll and write game, but the nifty thing about this, besides the awesome maps, the nifty thing about this is that you get all the maps, I mean, I went in on this on Kickstarter, and it's the same price on their website, £4. They're on the other side of the pond, it's in pounds. So that works out maybe $5 American. But when I went in on it, I think it was like 2 or 3 maps, and then they came out with another map, and another map, and another map, and you get all the maps. When you buy in for this, whether you did it on Kickstarter or you go to their website right now, when you get it, you get all the maps that they release in the future. So talk about cheap thrills. This is really great. And you don't have to laminate the sheets or anything. You can just print them as you play them. And of course it can play not just 1, 2, 3, or 4. It could play up to 100, like as many people as you just want to crank out sheets for, map sheets. The other game, and I do not know the designer of this off the top of my head, but my memory is telling me that the designer or artist may be the same one that did Merchant Explorers, which just came out recently. I could be wrong about that. I will check and see and put a correction in the notes if I'm wrong. The second game I want to talk about is, whoa, I put the games down on the dice and they started to roll. Okay, is Morels. I play this game on the app all the time. It is designed by Brent Povis. The art is by Vince Dorse. And the theme of the game is, it's a card game. The theme of the game is you are foraging for mushrooms in the forest and then cooking them up. It's basically a set collection game. But the cards cycle, and so you kind of got to, and you have to, like, if you want to buy deeper into the line, then you've got to, like, sell some cards off and get cute little sticks for them. I went all in on the recent Kickstarter because I've been playing this on the app for like, oh, I just love it. I play it all the time. And I'm pretty good at it on the app. And so when I saw that there was a Kickstarter for their 10th anniversary edition, that's what this is, the 10th anniversary edition, I kind of went nuts and went all in on it. I got the cute little frying pans and the sticks, and there are, because it's the anniversary edition, a couple of new mushrooms in the pack. And I got the game and discovered I am not good at this. That pulling cards out and making sets and laying them down, and, you know, I mean, I'm good at the app, but in real life, I have only won the game once. Honest to goodness. I'm reminded of what Han Solo said. Good against remotes is one thing. Good against the living, that's something else. So, yeah, I do recommend the app if you just kind of want to give it a try, because it's fun and it's fast, and it will teach you the game very, very quickly. But I think that the game on the table is actually a better game, because when you're playing against a real person, it's much harder. This is primarily a 2-player game, but it has variations for 3 and 4 players, I noticed in the instructions there, so totally legit for a game night thing. And what do I have next? Okay, next, please do not hate on me. Do not hate upon me in the comments, because I can explain myself. So stick around for the explanation. Monty Python Flux. And I know there are so many people on the internet who hate Flux. And it's like, it's not the most brilliant card game ever. And we do have other versions of it, because my husband has started buying like sci-fi themed Flux, and I don't really know why, because this is the only game of Flux you ever need. It is the only game of Flux you should ever have. Maybe the only game of Flux that ever should have been made. If you're a fan of Monty Python, that is, which we are. Surprise, surprise. And I got the Black Knight expansion to go with it too, so that's a little bit extra cards, because I am a fan of Monty Python. But I mean, it's hilarious. And I mean, I thought about it. I heard about this game Flux, and there seemed to be like 10 million different versions of it, and I didn't quite know what I was looking at, so I started researching it, and it just sounded nuts. And I looked at all these different versions of Flux, and I read some reviews and stuff, and I thought, wow, that just sounds like a theme pasted onto a really crappy card game. And then I'm looking at how the gameplay goes for Flux, and I'm looking at all these different versions, and I see Monty Python, and I think, yes, it is a silly game. And it's perfect. I mean, the theme of the game, which is just random, bizarre, and silly, and there are parrots and singing and Monty Python quotes, and things change, and get me a shrubbery, you know, and I'm just thinking the theme is perfect for this kind of very silly, very chaotic card game. I mean, this is what Flux should be. And if you're a Monty Python fan, then you can play Flux with your friends and just laugh your heads off. I mean, it's really a lot of fun. And it's really one of the few things that makes this card game just a sheer joy, as opposed to just being a bunch of random cards. And so, like I said, don't hate on me. It's not that I like all Flux. It's just that the Monty Python Flux is something special. If you're a Monty Python fan, you can just have a lot of fun with it. Next up is a game I have not played, Fedora Noir. And the reason why I haven't played it, this was a Kickstarter I backed. The reason why I haven't played it is because it takes exactly 4 people. And since getting this game, I have played many games with 2 people. I have played several games with 3 people. I have played a bunch of games with 5 people, family. But I have not gotten that magic number of 4 yet. This is a storytelling game where you play as the detective, the flame, the partner, and the hat. The hat narrates the story. And as you turn the cards over, you basically play out and make decisions about a noir mystery story. I think there's like 3 mysteries in the box, you know. 1, the detective has to retrieve an object. 1, they have to find the missing person. And it's a kind of like noir plot in a box. And the whole idea that the game is narrated by the detective's hat just struck me as, I don't know, just kind of wonderful. And I'm really, really looking forward to playing this. The artwork is beautiful. They have character artwork for the different characters and also for the settings, which are not all on Earth. I noticed flipping, going through the cards, I had forgotten there's like settings that are in cities and suburbia and stuff, but there was also a setting that is in the solar system, Juno, based on Juno. So you can even get your sci-fi noir fix out of this. So I'm looking forward to playing this very, very much. And the 4th, did I have this labeled as 4th? Yes. No, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this has got to be 5th. Another silly game. This is a game that we found out about from Michelle over at Second Star to the Left. Her and Billy, her daughter, play this a lot, I gather. They have a special box for it. Yeah, I kind of have a special box for it too, because once you play it, if you like it, you're going to say, ooh, get me some more of that. This is black humor. If you do not like black, dark humor, then this is not the game for you. But it could be a good game for Halloween. It is also, like Monty Python, a very silly game. Oh, gosh, I did not give... Oh, let me jump back to Fedora Noir. I did not give the designers Stinson and Hobbs. It's in the box there. Gloom is done by Keith Baker. And it has some re-themes, Cthulhu Gloom and Fairy Tale Gloom and Gloom of Thrones. Like they really need more ways to kill people off in that. But there are also expansions for this basic game with the delightful Edward Gorey-esque kind of artwork. And each expansion adds a family. If you're going to get expansions, start with unhappy homes, because that adds houses which you can play special actions on to the families, and every expansion that you get after that will include a new family which will come with a home. So you might as well have unhappy homes so you'll know what to do with all those home cards. The cards are transparent, and the idea of the game is that you are trying to make your family as miserable as possible and then kill them off. Meanwhile, you are trying to make your opponent's families as happy as possible. You're supposed to give them all the good luck. There are plus and minus points in different spots along the cards, so as you layer the cards over characters, you can hide or reveal certain point values. But the real fun and joy in this game, and what makes it so hilarious, is the storytelling aspect. Like, you know, she was happily married, and then she wandered down to the lake where she was devoured by ducklings and caught the plague and nibbled by weasels and castigated by the queen, and they're just pursued by poodles. That's a thing, pursued by poodles. And it's just, you do all of these different things, and as you're playing the game, you just kind of like tell a story as you're playing these cards on each other. It's like, well, you know, they went to the ball, but guess what happened to them at the ball? Ha, ha, ha. You know, and you tell like these increasingly bizarre stories, trying to tie the narrative together as you're playing cards on each other. You need to have a group of people that can really enter into the spirit of the storytelling aspect and get all silly with it and making up things about these characters as you play cards on each other, because that's one of the things that makes it really fun. If you're just like looking at going plus points, minus points, plus points, we have to play this card there and that card there, then it's just like a card game where you're playing for points. And that just makes it dull. I mean, there are a lot of card games where you play for points, but there aren't too many card games where you have characters pursued by poodles and and coming to unhappy ends in bizarre manners and things like that. But it's a very fun game, very kind of humorously macabre, shall we say, because the whole idea is you've got to play those death cards. Only dead family members score. You can't score, and whoever kills off all of their family first, and you have to have negative points to kill them off, they must be as miserable as possible. And you've got to play those happy cards on other characters, so it's interesting, let me put it to you that way, and a lot of fun. And those are my 5 games. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I covered all of them. It seems like I went through them really, really fast. Gloom is kind of a good game for Halloween, but we play it year-round. And as I said, it's one of a number of games that we have discovered from Michelle and her daughter Billy over on Second Star to the Left. And yes, it is to the left on their channel, and she explains why in an early video, which you should totally watch. Watch all of them. Michelle and Billy and Second Star to the Left, and Dwayne and his wife Alicia at Blackboard Gaming. Those are 2 board game channels that I have watched every single video that they've done. They're the only ones that I've seen everything that they've done, and we've found a lot of really great games from both of those. I will put links down below. And now for the person that I'm tagging in the Handheld Game Challenge, I'm tagging Catherine Drayer over at Drayer Inc. I've also watched all of her videos, and she is a board game designer from New Zealand, though living in the U.S. now. And she has been very, very encouraging as I do these videos. And dang it, Catherine, I forgot to look directly at the lens this time because I can barely see it and I'm just captivated by my own face with the really bad hair today. But you know, if I waited to have a good hair day, this just wouldn't happen. Anyhow, let me see if I've got anything else in my notes here. Check out all 3 of those channels. Oh yeah, going back to that idea Dwayne had about, can you imagine just showing up at a game night with this many games in hand? Well, yeah, that's kind of a neat idea. So think about it. Those of you who have a regular game group, maybe this could be a game group challenge. Until next time, I'll see you around the table. Bye.